oysters that we grow in the farm like this. Yes. So in the farm, we grow this type of oyster. They produce the color from white, yellow to the gold color, just the same color with the shell, like this. So because in the farm like this, the technique that we use, we can only produce one pearl in one oyster. So that's why we need a lot of oysters, right? And we cannot just take the oysters from the sea all the time. So because it's not really easy to find this species in the wild right now. So that's why what we do,
you grow your own oysters, and when they're big enough, you bring them to the other farm.
Yeah, that's right. So we breed the oysters to get a lot of oysters. So we take male and the one, whether they're male or female. And by looking at the organ inside, it's the gonad. So gonad is the sexual organ of the oyster. You're going to see the color. If it's white, it's a male oyster. But if it's yellow, then it's a female oyster. So that's how we know male or female. But it's only for the breeding process. We have to separate male and female. So when we make the pearl, we can use both male and female. So we don't have to. Once we know which one is male or female oyster, we take around 20 to 25 oysters for one batch of the breeding process, and we
What's the process called?
Breeding, spawning.
Spawning.
Spawning. So
and how long does it take to make this size oyster?
This size is around 4 years old.
4 years before you can even start?
Yeah.
Before you can even...
Usually the one that we use for the spawning is wild oysters. So we have divers go into the sea and take the wild ones, approximately about this size or even bigger ones. But some of the oysters that we use for the spawning, also the one that grows in the farm. So some are wild oysters. Because the wild ones, they are stronger, but the farm oyster, they have the record of producing good quality of pearls. So they have a good genes. We want to have a babies from something like that. So from one batch, 20 to 25 oysters, male and female. We're going to do stimulation before the breeding process. So we take them out of the water for around 5 minutes, and then we put them under the sunlight. We bring stress actually to the oyster. We bring the stress level up because when the oyster feels stressed, they feel like they're going to die. They build the instinct to breed, to produce offspring. So I'm going to die soon, so I have to have babies, something like that. So we bring out the instinct, and then after that, we put them on a table, we put water, we wait for around 6 to 12 hours. What happened during the spawning process is the male and the female oyster, so it will be an external breeding, external spawning. So we collect the sperm and the eggs from each of the oysters, and then we combine sperm and the eggs. The next day, we can check out the larvae of the oysters already. From 20 to 25 oysters that we use, we can get around 80 to 100 millions of the baby oysters. The larvae of the oyster, they look like dust in the water. Very, very small, very tiny, so that's why they won't survive in the sea if we just release them. So we have to grow them here until they reach around the size that looks like sugar grain, like sugar bits. Yeah, so they are ready to go into the sea. The seed of the pearl. We will put the seed of the pearl into the 2-year-old oyster, and then we wait for another 2 years for the oyster to build the layers of the pearl. So the 4-year-old oyster is ready for the first harvest. So by this size, it's
and then you can use it again and again?
Yeah. Usually around 3 or 4 times.
3 or 4 times. 45 days to make the shell. Another 2 years
to grow the pearl.
To become ready to even receive a pearl.
Yeah.
And then another 2 years to grow it.
Yeah.
So minimum 4 years and 45 days?
Yes.
These are 12 days old?
Yes. You see they look like specks, tiny specks that looks like dust. The one that I put the flashlight in?
Yeah.
Yeah, those are the larvae, the baby oysters.
Yeah. Wow. They swim for the first 12 days?
Yes.
And then
And then they start to attach.
they start to attach?
Yes.
To what?
We're going to put a panel for them to attach. So in the natural life of the oysters, they attach to anything, coral, reef, sand at the bottom of the sea. But here we're going to give them like a medium, almost similar. We call it the collector. So a panel full with ropes.
What do you call it?
Collector.
Collector.
Yeah.
And they get to be that size after 2 years?
Yes.
In
About 10 centimeters.
10 centimeters
Yes.
after 2 years.
Yes.
Wow.
80 million baby oysters in this
Yes,
tank.
Yeah.
So, but you only get a few shells.
That's right. Even after they grow here in 45 days,
Yeah.
and after 45 days, around 10 to 15% only that can survive from them, from the 18 million.
It's still a lot.
It's still a lot, but in the sea we will lose a lot also.
Oh, then you lose like 90% again in the sea?
Yes, that's right. Because we cannot control what happens in the sea. The rain and the disease or something. Here, the water that we use is the clean water. We control every environment, but in the sea we don't. We hold the baby oysters so we don't lose them. So we change the water every 2 or 3 days to make sure they have clean water every 2 weeks or 20 days swimming. Baby oyster will be swimming, and after that we're going to put this panel inside the tank, and then they will attach themselves here, all around the ropes, or even all across the panels like this. And then we will send the panel full with baby oyster into the sea. That's how they go from the lab into the sea.
Oh.
But the panel will be covered with a net to protect the baby oyster because they still look like sugar grain, still very fragile in the water. So we have to cover up the face or from the fish, turtles.
This is where they grow the phytoplankton. Food, oyster food. Why are these containers all different?
Different stage and different species. We have
Different
around-
species of phytoplankton.
Yes, we have around 7 species of phytoplanktons that we grow in here because different stage of baby oyster, they need different nutrition, different kind of plankton. Yeah. And we keep this room very cold like this, about 15 to 18 degrees Celsius, because these planktons are not from Indonesia. They are taken from Australia, from Tasmania. So it's about 500 milliliters. We start from the clear color, like that. We don't put too much plankton in the water. See, this one is the date is 4th of September. So it's today. We start culturing this plankton today, so that's why it's not really dark color.
Oh, I mean, darker is older.
Yes, you can see this one started from the 2nd. See, different color, they get darker. So it means more plankton in the water. It gets more dense in here. So after 4 or 5 days, usually we're going to transfer the dark concentrated plankton into a bigger container. The next one. Yeah, like this, about this size of, so they get more water, they be clear again, and then they get darker, like say like this one, they start from this color and end up like that one after 4 or 5 days. After it gets dark in this container, we transfer them into the bigger ones again. So that's, sorry. We keep it's actually already grown in the sea.
5 or 6 months old.
Yeah, but we keep them here for samples.
Ah. These are usually already in the sea, but this is just for sample
Yeah.
to show. 5 or 6 months, they're already about 10 or 15 millimeters.
Yeah.
They attach here and some of them here. Usually there are 100 to 200 oysters attached in one panel like that, but every month we have to do like selection of the oyster, because we cannot grow all of them in one panel like that. They will grow bigger and there's not enough space for them, so we have to select the bigger ones. Like for example this one here. It's bigger than the other ones, so we have to take them out from here and then transfer them into the new panel. So we let the smaller one grow a little bit more in this panel, and the bigger one we take them.
Put back in the ocean?
Yes.
Oh, in here?
Yeah.
Oh.
So they'll be put into a pocket with nets, like that, because we still want to protect the baby oysters. This is about 6 months. So you can see the 6 months here and the 6 month that I showed you in the lab. It's different because in the sea they eat more. They can eat everything. So that's why they grow faster. Over here they attach everywhere.
Oh, here only 4 oysters
Yes.
per row,
Yeah.
so they can grow bigger.
Yeah.
These are 8 to 9 months old.
Yeah. So now we only put 3 oysters per one. Because they need more space.
Yeah.
Yes. And the shell is strong, thick. We don't need to put the net anymore. And you can see also maybe how they actually attach. So they grow some kind of root, like a plant root, and they attach into the panel. This one, see? Here?
It's attaching to the panel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Root attaching to the panel.
So every time we transfer them into the new panel, we just cut the root, just like we cut our hair.
Yeah.
So we, if we pull it out, it feels hurt for the oyster, but if we cut it, they don't feel anything. Keep this position, only 2 oysters for the bigger ones. 1 year old. This one is 1.5.
1.5 years old.
Yes.
These are 2 years old.
Yes, that's right.
See the size?
They're almost 200 millimeters.
Yes, it's about 10 to
10 to
15
20.
millimeter, yes.
10 to 15 centimeters.
So this is the size that we want from the oyster to start to make the pearl.
Okay.
Yeah, 2 years. When they are ready, when they are 2 years, we're going to transfer them from here into this panel here. The reason is because we want them to open up the shells a little bit wider. As you can see that one in the end. So,
Wow. It just opened.
yes.
Can you get it to open again?
We have to wait for them to open up by
They're
themselves.
sensitive.
Yeah, I think they are sensitive.
Over there.
This one is open.
Open.
This one's open.
So this one, we're going to start to the seeding, so they're ready for the seeding, and we have to take them out from the water with the shell open. But if we touch them, they can slightly close back again, so we have to put this thing. So it's going to show you that on the back. So we put it slowly like that, so it holds the oyster shells, so it doesn't close. So this one, what I want to show you here is this is the 2 years old oyster, the one that's ready for the seeding process. So we're going to put the seed of the pearl into these oysters, and then we wait for 2 years for the oyster to grow the layers around the seed. And this is after 2 years. So this is 4 years old
4 years,
oysters,
yeah.
and there's a pearl already inside of this oyster. So they will start from this size, and then we harvest them about this size. It's a very delicate process. It needs to be the one with skill to do this, because one wrong move we can easily kill the oysters. So now what we're going to do to the oyster is that we're going to put this thing into the oyster. This is the seed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What kind of shell?
It's made from shell
Where does it come from?
from Mississippi.
Oh,
So it's a,
everybody uses Mississippi.
I think it's the best quality one. If you use different types of nucleus or other materials, it won't give you a good quality of the pearl, because we use this it has the same density with the shell. And you can see we have different size of the nucleus. So this one are for the next seeding. So I told you we can use the oyster several times, but every time we harvest the pearl, we're going to put the new nucleus. The nucleus will be bigger than the previous one. The nucleus, but if we only put the nucleus, they cannot make the pearl. So we have to give the organ to cover up our nucleus, and we need to take the organ from a living oyster that we sacrifice. So we have to kill one oyster. In every process like this, we have to kill one.
Why you don't use the one that's already
Because
there?
we put in a different location. So I'll show you while we open up so you can see better. This is 2 years old oyster. We kill this one.
Okay.
Yeah, this is like a donor oyster. Okay, so now we can see the inside of the oyster. I can show you better. So this part is the mother of pearl, the shell.
Okay.
So the organ that creates the mother of pearl is this part over here. We call it the saibu, or the mental tissue. And also the mental tissue is the one that creates the pearl in the natural way. Because in the natural way, this is the filter. So it filters food and rubbish. So when the oyster eats, it will filter the food and the rubbish will stuck in here. The rubbish can be a grain of sand or a piece of coral or anything. It will stuck in here, and the oyster will this organ will produce that nacre to cover up that rubbish. So the natural pearl will be located around this area. But if we do the same process like the natural one, and then we try to put our nucleus, for example, just in there, it won't stuck in the filter. So the oyster can spit it out very easily. So they just throw it away. We cannot get the pearl if we put it here. So that's why we're not going to put it here. We're going to put it in the middle instead. There's a womb of the oysters here, or the gonad. So gonad function almost like a womb. It's a pocket. So the pocket, it can protect the nucleus better. The oyster cannot spit it out easily. But the problem, it cannot produce that liquid of pearl inside of the pocket. So we have to take this organ later, and then we kind of implant the organ to the womb of another oyster. So in one oyster, we're going to put one nucleus and one piece of organ. So we just want the organ of the oyster. So we're going to extract the organ.
Extracting the organ.
Take the organ from
The color and the quality of the pearl determines by this oyster. So if we kill the donor with the white shell, we will get white pearl. But if we kill the donor with the yellow or gold shell, we'll get a yellow or gold pearl. So this is why I told you we can choose the color of the pearl that we want to make by choosing the donor. Yes, we're going to cut it into smaller pieces. So we take the organ from here, but if we implant in the middle,
center.
yeah, in the center. But to the other oyster, because we already killed this one, we cannot use them again. The organ is around here, but we need to create the pearl in the middle.
Yeah.
Here.
So you put the organ there?
Yes.
Oh, and touching the pearl?
Yes.
Okay. Cutting the organ into smaller pieces.
From one donor that we kill, we can get 20 pieces. So we kill one for 20 oysters.
Okay.
So that's the gonad.
This gonad?
That's the center that I showed you together. So we're going to put our nucleus in there. And we can also see whether it's male or female. So this one is white.
Yeah.
Yes. So this one is male oyster. But it doesn't matter. We can use male or female. So now what he's going to do first, pelan-pelan ya Pak ya?
Yeah.
He's going to slice a little bit of the tissue to create an entrance. So this is the knife. You can see?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You see knife? Yeah.
So the knife is going inside. It's creating an entrance for our nucleus.
Putting the nucleus.
Yeah.
And then push the nucleus.
And then this is mantle.
So he put the nucleus in there, and
Yes. And now the organ.
now the organ. Okay.
The center of the pearl, and the organ will cover it. I'm going to weigh this oyster for 2 years in the sea. But we make sure that the oyster that we grow all will produce the pearl. So we have to check them 6 months from now. They're going to go into an X-ray process. So we're going to X-ray them just like the one in the airport. Because some of the oyster, they can still spit it out, the nucleus. So if they spit it out, we're going to repeat this process. Put the new nucleus and the new organ again. But if they keep it, it's okay. So grow for another 2 years. Yeah.
So the whole process is just really a lot of work.
Yes.
That's all.
Yeah.
And nature does the rest.
Yeah.
And you do all the work.
That's right.
But and most of them don't come out round.
The percentage of the whole harvest for the round one or the perfect quality one, we get only 3 to 5% only.
With no blemishes.
Yeah, with no blemishes, round. Last most
Only
are
3 to 5%
middle
of top
class.
quality.
Very little.
Yes. that's
After
right.
all that work, only 3 to 5% is
Yeah.
really good quality.
Yeah.
And the rest, the price is much lower.
Yeah. We usually
4-year-old oyster.
And already have a hole inside.
yes. Now we will take it out.
You have to be careful because you're going to use it again.
Yeah, keep it alive.
It's yeah, this bowl. Oh, I saw it. I saw it. You saw it there?
Where?
That lump, the white one.
Oh yeah.
Same place where we put the nucleus before.
The hole in there.
He's going to remove the pearl
Yeah.
without killing the oyster, so
Yeah.
you can use it again. Okay. Removing the pearl from the oyster without killing it, to use it again. Wow. Wow, look at that.
The left.
Amazing.
Wow.
Okay. This one is a Keshi pearl because the oyster spit it out. It spit out the nucleus.
Yes.
Yeah, this.
Nice luster.
The
Yes.
luster is nice, yeah,
Nice luster.
but
Usually it's too small to make into a jewelry, so
yeah, not big enough.
it will get it can be double in size from the size of the nucleus.
Now the farming,
The farming is actually they say is I've never been to Australia, but they say it's almost the same quality, but Australians can be bigger size. Pearls can produce bigger size of pearls. So if our oysters we can use them mostly 3 or 4 times, so up to around 10 years. They can use the oyster up to 5 or 6 times, so it can be 12 or 14 years, because the oysters actually can live for 15 or 20 years of age, so that's why they can use them a lot more. Alright, so now I'm sure you already know, but we just talk a little bit about the pearls. So what we want to show you here is how we evaluate our pearls. Company Autore put up this 5S as the guidelines to know the quality of a pearl. So in every piece of our pearl we evaluated will be graded based on all of these 5 things. So we just put up a roughly guide here, how to know which one is a good one, which one is not. So the 5 things are the shine or the luster, and then the surface, the shade or the color, the shape, and the last is the size. So we put this thing, for example, this there are 4 pearls that we put here, from the shiniest one, the best luster, the highest luster, until the lowest one here. So you can
Best lusters on the left.
yes.
And this one is about the surface.
Yes, the second one is about the surface. So if we compare, this is the pearl that we just harvested earlier from the harvest. If we compare the pearls with the shine of the pearl, the luster with the pearl that here, so you can see it doesn't have the best luster over there. But let's remember that the pearl that we just harvest, it will go into a cleaning process or the polishing process, so it might lift up the shine or the luster a little bit more, but not up to the best. Or very difficult to get that kind of pearl. So what we get mostly is a pearl with 1, 2, or 3 blemishes. It's still okay if they concentrate it in one area, so we can cover it when we make a jewelry from the pearl. But the problem comes up when it's very spread out like this. So the spots are all over the surface that we cannot almost hide it.
Yeah, you can just sell them cheaper.
Yes, that's right.
Okay.
For our pearl that we harvest, unfortunately, it also have like some dents and some circle marks like that. This is something that we cannot lose from the polishing process, so it will stay there. Yeah, we cannot fix it. So the next is the shade. So the shade of the pearl, the South Sea pearls, we have all of these. These are the color that we might get from. Basic color is actually white, yellow, and gold. So white, yellow, and gold color. But the white ones, they can have some hues. Like for this, for example, this one, it's white basically, but it has like a pinkish hue, a pink hues.
Pinkish,
Yeah.
Strongly pinkish.
Yeah. So it's different with the pink of freshwater ones.
A little bit different.
Yeah.
Something like Okoye, but Okoye is
Yeah.
not even this pink. I don't think. I don't see many that are this pink.
I think so.
Yeah, we get this not often also. So this one is like once every. Mostly it's a light pink like this.
Yes.
It's very light pinkish like that. And then gold. This is gold, right?
Gold is the most expensive right now.
Yeah. It's favorite.
And after that, the pinkish white.
Yeah.
This.
The lowest one is the yellow or silver.
Yellow is the lowest, and the silver. But they look nice too.
They do. Preference. But people mostly, now they like the gold and the white pinkish one. For the shapes, they like the round one.